Vice is tired of taking Ls IRL. They're sick of it.
But I really enjoy their taking L segments.
I don't know why they started doing that.
I don't know. It's really good TV, though.
Who was sitting around being like, you know what, this will make the movement look good. But no, it was good TV. Just to mention first, though, if you'd like a job, there's a 9 to 5 in Swindon. Looking for you, software engineer / web developer. So the Midnight Sunday was the last jobs for that. So if you don't apply before then, nope.
Come and help us improve our website, because it needs improving.
If you can do it, then apply. If you don't, then don't. We'll move to the Vice articles, though, because you may remember, people who don't know, Vice started doing these things where they'd invite like a couple of writers on and a bunch of leftist TikTok morons. And it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Because the leftist TikTok morons have obviously never spoken to anyone but themselves.
What I love about this as well is, I hate to say it, the ethnic composition. Asian woman calls Asian man white supremacist. Asian man explains it's not white supremacy to be successful.
Also, why would a white supremacist system let us have this conversation, Asian woman?
Yeah, why are we here?
How do you have a job? How do you have money? How do you have power?
Yeah.
And you can see the dislikes there as well, which were amazing. Vince Dow doing a very, very good job of being like, it's not ethnic erasure to not commit crime, which was my favorite point.
That's just such a mask-off moment.
Yeah. If you go to the next image, you can see it did not go well by looking at the images next up, please. And then we can load up those. I mean, these are the responts.
Oh, you gotta love it.
There is no soy face of Vince Dow being like, I've been destroyed.
Yeah.
By the no. Don't be silly.
Look at the. I've never heard. How dare you contradict my thoughts?
The closest they get is Zigzag introduces himself as they them, and Vince just rolls his eyes.
Yeah.
Because it's just boring. It's just boring at this point. We'll go to Zigzag, though, because Zigzag is actually worse than I thought. I didn't mention this last time.
Oh, yeah? Who's this?
This is his application to Stanford University. If we can click on the left there, we can see the full text of what he wrote. That's it. This was his application to one of the quote-unquote best universities in America. No, come on. American universities are a joke. And he got in. That's how he got his degree. Congratulations, you've been admitted.
It's embarrassing.
I'm brown and say Black Lives Matter. Have $1 million and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's actually how America works, apparently. That's on his account. That's him posting it as well.
He's proud of this,
bragging in their face.
To be honest with you, if that had worked for me, I'd brag about it too.
Yeah.
Look how stupid they are.
Enough of Zigzag, because then they had Pearl and Sydney on, who, again, were the two token writers who were like, yeah, you're all mad. We're not gonna...
Look at the faces, though. They're not happy, are they?
No. And if you scroll down on this one, there's an even funnier part of this. There's the likes and dislikes, which, again, are beautiful. The really funny part is there's no comments.
Oh.
They turned off the comments for this one because it went that badly.
What's the warning here?
Warning?
Abortion health information. Oh, thanks,
yeah.
YouTube. Needed to know that.
Do you know what abortion is? It'd be pretty weird if I didn't. Anyway, 2 million views. Both of these sequences of Writers Destroy Leftist Nonsense on Vice.com went amazingly viral because it was really funny. And so...
like, how did this blow up in our face?
Yeah. And then if you go to the next one here, because it obviously didn't go well. We can see how it didn't go well, with the leftists saying they were going through violence.
Oh, well.
F's in the chat, boys.
I mean, to be honest with you, I did watch these, and it did kind of feel like violence.
I mean, getting curb stomped isn't always fun, but sometimes you deserve it.
Yeah.
In the metaphorical sense of having your arguments destroyed.
Violence. I love it.
It's ridiculous.
So preposterous.
But then, if we go to the next one, they decided to have one more of these. I checked it out. It's about male masculinity.
Oh, yeah.
And they list it as Vice invites male-identifying people to discuss masculinity.
That explains the person on the left there.
Yeah. They list it as modernist versus traditionalist.
Oh, I bet it was peak traditionalism.
Modernist men versus traditionalist men. Yeah.
Look at the guy on the right as well. Like you can just look at the way they're sat to see who's
right?
on.
What are you talking? Lie on the left.
Yeah, but no. But look at the guy on the right as well, right? Look at the way they're sat, like hands in his lap. Like you can see the posture.
Stereotypes are hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. Who's going to be on what position?
This conversation, I'm not going to go through. It's like, it's 40 minutes long. We're going to very quickly go over this because it was stupid. Because the whole thing was very quickly discovered that masculinity isn't set by men. It's set by women. Because women set the game, men just try to win the game.
Yep.
And we'll play the clip just to make that point. Let's listen to what that point was.
I had to be a certain way for them to look at me as a man. And if I didn't perform in that manner, they also called me a bitch.
Yeah, they want a real, like...
Right? So
poster.
it's like,
Yeah.
as progressive as I may want to be, is the world accepting of that as a whole? Because even if the other men don't like it, but the women like it, I might be like, I don't care what the guys think, as long as the women like it.
Eternal truth.
Yeah.
Masculinity is defined by women.
Yeah. It's what women are interested in. What do you want?
This is the funniest thing about, like, men discussing masculinity is the biggest waste of time ever. What's the point?
Well, I mean,
What is masculine is defined by what women are interested in.
sure, but like young men obviously have very little understanding of that these days, and so older men explaining that to younger men, I think there's value in
Yeah,
that.
sure, but it's about men talking around about, like, what could we make it mean? You don't get to decide, brother. And this is the really funny point I saw Jordan Peterson talking about. What's toxic masculinity? Well, if it's toxic, it's not masculinity. Because women don't want it if it's toxic to them. In the sense of...
actually, you say that.
Well, we're talking about
want it.
specifically here, like, women talking about, oh, yeah, well, he tried to rape me or something. It's like, what? Like, why would that be masculinity then? And the same thing with toxic femininity. It's like, it's not feminine if men despise it. Because men don't want that.
I suppose the argument would be, well, what they're saying when they say toxic is they're exploiting something that is available to masculinity and femininity.
But that conversation was
To
usually
harm people.
in the specific examples there were just about, like, oh my god, he does this thing I don't like. It's like, well then, why would it be useful? Like, the actually repulsing women level of stuff. But the point still stands for toxic femininity. But this one is the one we're going to go through because it's really funny. Colorism debate. Look at those dislikes. Not with a single rightist involved. Not a single right-winger in the previous one, not a single right-winger in this one, because they've learned that lesson. Taking too many L's.
Didn't get enough views there, did they?
No, because there's no right-wingers.
Yeah.
But the thing here is that it didn't stop them taking L's. Even not a single rightist in the room. Still got 78% dislike rate. All the comments in here as well are talking about how, what do you mean minority? You're the global majority. We're doing a whole lot of conversation. White's the minority. We'll start off with the first clip, because of course there were no rightists, so I've just put a compilation together to get the flavour of the room. Let's play.
Hi, my name is Koa, and I identify as biracial. I think about colorism as a distinct hierarchy that is anchored in a proximity to whiteness.
Hi, my name is Maya. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm Black. Institutional power plus prejudice. Darker skinned people as a class of people do not have the ability, the institutional power to, for example, put you in prison for longer sentences because of being lighter skinned or, having less access to employment.
You acknowledge that colorism affects lighter skinned people?
There's no such thing as reverse colorism, same way there's no such thing as reverse racism, reverse sexism.
Being a lighter person, I do experience a tremendous amount of privilege. And
We need to talk about how this is like a capitalist enterprise that is invested in people lightening their skin.
That's the
like
discussion.
that to me, I think that's why it's important to remember who benefits.
With these platforms that are new and are emerging, the same dynamics are mirrored back to us, whether that is racism, colorism, misogyny, Islamophobia.
Yeah, it was all
That is
the buzz.
incredible.
I'm not making... You can go watch the full thing.
I might.
You'll agree with me. It was literally just a compilation
Amazing.
of tired talking points that any writers could debunk within 5 minutes of the conversation, which is why they weren't invited.
No, I love it.
Same stupid buzzwords all the time. There's no reverse colorism. There's no reverse
No, there's not.
heightism.
There's no reverse colorism. The light brown women have more privilege over the dark brown women.
You know what they're talking about there? Is that guy up in the top right. He's a gay guy. And he was talking about, apparently in the gay community in the United States, being lighter-skinned black is a disadvantage. They want the black men. And he was talking about how that's a disadvantage for him. And her response is, there's no reverse colorism. He's like, I'm literally losing dates, love. What do you want? So, there we
Love
go.
it. Love it.
Big pink over here, though.
Yeah.
Has a real hard time public speaking. And it pissed me off so much, I've made this, so you have to suffer with me.
Because we live under capitalism.
Stupid.
It's very similar to something.
Unbearable. We'll get to the whining about colorism, though, because this whole debate, even in the abstract, is beautiful to me. Because it's obviously the crevices of intersectionality.
Oh, yeah.
Because you start off with the dumbass debate about, racism, sexism, and then we'll throw on trans stuff and whatever. When you get to the point of discussing colorism, I mean, it is comical for most human beings to the conversation is now realized as that. And I just wonder how much further it goes, like the heightism debate.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that'll be coming soon.
We're
Let's-
going to win that one, Callum.
We'll listen to this one first.
Colorism shows up like systemically. Like there's research on public health and the different health outcomes darker skinned Black people have as opposed to lighter skinned Black people. And
Really?
there's one about pulse oximeters like being used during COVID and how the devices have a harder time registering darker skin. And you can imagine the implications for that. And we know that the Black community has been disproportionately affected by COVID in terms of like deaths. I don't think that evidence can be divorced from the anecdotes, because the anecdotes just supplement that evidence. They help put that evidence into context. And I'm so fascinated by the growing scholarship around colorism, because I think it's about time people treat colorism with the same seriousness they treat racism.
I agree.
And some people just personally feel like they look better lighter, just like some people feel like they look better with makeup on. Why not you just tell everybody, love your natural skin, you don't need makeup. The
Not being
skin bleaching
systemically
is
oppressed from not wearing makeup, though. Whereas someone with darker skin might experience systemic racism.
It's hypocrisy, though.
It
That's what I'm
is.
trying
It's
to
absolutely
say.
hypocrisy.
And that's
It's
not fair.
hypocrisy.
So I look forward to the makeism debate.
What I love there is, it's COVID. Okay, well, now let's talk about skin cancer.
There are different
What's
medical outcomes for different human bodies.
What's the level of skin cancer in the Black community compared to the white community in California?
But the more fundamental argument there, why are there different medical outcomes for different human bodies?
Great question.
Because they're different.
You know that
Dunk
diversity?
your head in ice.
That diversity you were aiming for, it requires differences.
Yeah, fundamentally. But the end point there of them discussing, what about makeup communism?
No, I agree. Let's take makeup away from women as well.
Do you not agree that women are being systematically oppressed by other women wearing makeup?
I was thrilled when Texas banned Instagram filters and the Instagram thoughts were freaking out. Let's ban makeup.
But endless
What happens now?
conversations about aren't humanity being oppressed on this nonsense subject that I'm...
Maybe women can get a realistic appraisal of their own attractiveness if we ban makeup and Instagram filters.
Yeah. Speaking about heightism, though, I thought I'd finally actually find the clip I've been talking about all the time.
Oh, yeah.
This is the clip if you want to go see it. It's really just Stephen Fry listening about how heightism is a real and serious thing and is actually, as quoting him here, comparable in magnitude to race.
Okay.
And he gives the statistics about how men of different heights earn and have the same sort of different kinds of outcome as men of different races. And it's like, yes, Stephen, it's almost like this is a huge waste of time. You should get on with your life.
Are you officially Black now?
I am a Black man by my height. Height of my cock. Anyway, let's go to the next. Let's go to the next clip, in which we have a discussion about 9/11, because of course we do.
Oh, yeah.
Moving here after 9/11, there was a huge push, I think, in the Middle Eastern community to look as white as possible. So it wasn't necessarily that it was the beauty standard, but rather a way to not get hate crimed or to kind of stay under the radar. And so my mom would tell me things like, tell people you're Russian and things like that. So kind of keeping a proximity to whiteness was seen as a safer idea.
Okay, great. They love Russians in America.
Yeah, there's not a group that's loved more in America.
Yeah.
I also love,
Brilliant.
it's just such a ridiculous example. It's like after 9/11, I had to pretend to be. You could have pretended to be black. Black people didn't do 9/11 either. You could have. That's not the point. Also, this stupid.
Also, Americans don't know anything about the rest of the world. You could explain it from Europe.
I'm from Estonia. What's that?
Yeah, I'm from Estonia or something. They wouldn't know.
Just make up a country.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, right, okay, not Russian or Muslim. Right, okay,
Yeah.
fine. Not an
Yeah.
Arab.
But also, it's just ridiculous that I hate this concept. You always hear it from these people whining of never traveled. It's just like, why do I have to blend in with the local culture?
No, this is
not be an asshole, that's
proper
why.
four-line stuff. It's like, no, don't do your terrorist accent. What other accent's got my IRA accent?
I did a Russian Wagner mercenary accent.
Yes. Like, it's gold.
Vessel, why? What about my Ukrainian Nazi accent? Vessel, no!
It's just so gold. It's like, oh god, these things are so
I did
dumb.
my Colombian drug dealer accent. But no,
My MS-13 accent is into your essay.
but I find that funny as hell.
Gold,
It's just a
yeah.
waste of time. Why in Russia do I have to pretend to be Russian and try and fit? Why in Afghanistan do I have to wear Afghan clothes? Because you're not an arse. That's why. It's just basic things, for Christ's sake.
When in Rome.
Go to clip 7, though, which a black lady whines about how black women are viewed. This is the big whoo of a clip. But it's just really strange for an outsider to see how black American women view themselves in the media. Let's play.
Oh, okay.
And even when we are presented, we're presented as ghetto and loud and like we're not meant to be in a relationship. Like we always like stress our partner out. We're annoying. Like we complain a lot, and it just sucks. Like I was saying, like it does do something to your head. And I personally feel like black women are at the bottom of the barrel. Like nobody wants black women. Like nobody desires black women. They basically think we're trash. And that gets to your head, especially when you have a whole bunch of, you know, even celebrities, like men, black men, like wanting to be with white women or lighter skinned women. It makes you feel like you're just not wanted. And it makes you feel like you want to join the hype.
It's a really weird way to end that. It makes me want to join in, which I just found that clip amazing.
You
also.
know what's interesting is I saw going around on Twitter the other day the most popular dating choices on apps.
Yeah.
And this is not new or anything.
Those are in America, those ones.
Yeah.
I think Love Harmony.
Where Asian men and black women get the least hits.
But the funny thing is that the specific description she's giving of the media portrayal of quote-unquote black women is only American black women.
Oh, yes.
You notice how you don't get the same thing in England? Because black women aren't all American here.
Yes.
For one. So
Yet.
hugely different.
So I just heard, I feel like, you know, people think that we're awful and stress out our men.
And I want to join in with the hype. What? What a weird way to end it. It's just really strange. We'll end it off, though, because the local Iranian woman now wants to tell us that any black man is the king of black people.
What?
In her eyes. Let's play.
Let's say me and Kelvin were in a group chat with a non-black person, and they sent a gift that could be considered a black gift. I think it's, and I accuse them of digital blackface, but he doesn't. And so, pause it there because you guys were saying, like, just because something's happening or, like, if we have different feelings on it, whose point of view determines if something is actually happening or not, or if we're still in the realm of opinion and feeling?
I think as a non-black person, if even one black person told me something's not okay, I would listen to them. It could be 1 out of 100. I would really...
You don't think that's dangerous? I'm sorry to cut you off, but you don't think that's dangerous?
That's insane.
Because you're giving me the power to determine how you interact with
But it's
black
really
people.
not that much power to not use a gift that's not meant for me.
Who said it's not meant for you? If we create content as black people, we're not posting it on a website where only black people can get into. We're sharing it with you. I think people get offended when people misuse the content that we have and abuse it. But I can't tell you what gift. I mean, if it has the N-word in it real big, I'm going to take offense to that. But you already knew that. You already knew that. But if it's like a niche, popular black person who does comedy and you post their gift, I'm not going to say, well, hey, slow down. Like I don't have that kind of power to tell someone that, and it's dangerous.
I feel like you're like devaluing people's like feelings. You know what I mean?
It's the two white
That's
people.
amazing. The black guy's like, look, it's fine, dude. Yeah. Like, it's dangerous to give me the kind of power over you that you're suggesting I should have.
They're all whining about what about white people using black gifts? And then the two black guys who are sensible in the conversation are just like, but what if we disagree? Then who do you listen to? Who's the king of the black people here out of us two? And she just goes, well, even if one black person says it's not okay.
And he's like, you shouldn't do that.
Then you're not allowed to do anything ever? Also, I love the idea. He's like, well, we're not posting it somewhere where only black people. Like, they're not on blackpeoplemeet.com. They're like, let's get together, make some songs, make some gifts the whiteys won't know about. Okay.
Well, no, he's like, he was like essentially complaining like you're creating a kind of segregated internet here, where the whites and the blacks can't really interact. That's not what he wants, you know.
Never again. We'll end this off though, because Big Pink decides to come back into the conversation.
Actually, looks like she's got a good intervention here.
Yeah, she's got a great point. She's asking for beauty communism, and Little Pink just kind of turns around and goes, "Are you high?" By the end of it.
Okay.
Let's play.
And just she wanted an easier life. So I'm just like, I think about like, why are there so many material benefits to being lighter? Also, how do we make a world where darker skinned people don't have to do this, like don't have to. Like I think that I'm interested in creating a world or like moving towards a world where we don't have like these very clear like straight up pigmentocracy, like straight up like hierarchies of shade that are like rooted in anti-blackness, that like are influenced by white supremacy, all of these things like that are interconnected with one another.
I really feel like it's never gonna change. Like we want it to change.
I want it to
we
change.
hope that it'll change, but is it really gonna change? I really don't think so.
What do you define as change?
Like change as like
You want people to...
this fair game for also dark-skinned people. Like we all are on an equal level. And I feel like that's never going to happen.
And you see in the room just like, yeah, why are we doing this?
That's mental.
What a waste of time this conversation is. Because like ignore pigmentation from it, because remember we can do this on anything.
Yeah.
Why isn't there height communism and beauty standards? Why aren't short kings and tall kings all equally desired? How do we move towards that future? Shut up. If any man has that conversation, the immediate response is shut up.
Callum, this is a short person false consciousness. We need to start leveling the playing field between us and Josh and Harry.
Yeah, okay. And no.
They've won me over. I agree.
All the women in the conversation, like, how do we... Because it could be anything. It could be the ear shape. It could be your thighs. Like, whatever thing. Why aren't we all equally desired along this nonsense random thing I picked?
Yeah.
The little pink's just like, that's never going to happen. Shut up. Communist big pink. Anyway, that's Vice, taking Ls IRL, and they've decided they're sick of that, so they're no longer inviting right-wingers, so Vince Dow, did a good job in Pearl and Sydney, buried it, and it's a shame that series seems to have ended. Maybe they'll bring it back, hopefully.
Well, when they realise the numbers are down, they're going, okay, fine, get a right-winger on.
Yeah, we can hope they actually care about success and not just sitting around circle jerking for 5 minutes. But otherwise, still taking Ls somehow. If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the book club series, this one on George Orwell's Animal Farm Part 2. If you'd like to find out what else the Lotus Eaters are putting out, you can follow on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.